Good morning, everyone, and happy Tuesday. I hope you had a fabulous weekend. I know I haven't been on here in a little while, but I wanted to talk about soulpreneurs. And when I first thought of this word, I didn't know that it was an actual thing in terms that other people knew what it was. But I want to take a minute to define it for you. And I'm going to use the definition that I ended up finding this morning. It says, if your business reflects your life purpose, vision, mission, or calling, you are a soulpreneur. Soulpreneurs are entrepreneurs, freelancers, artists, craft persons, coaches, etc., who use their work as an opportunity to express their higher self, which I thought was a really nice way of putting it, because there are a lot of other things that come with it, but I want to talk about those. So they also listed 14 characteristics or qualities of a soulpreneur, and I wanted to go through those too. So the first is that they're honoring a higher calling. So they do what they're called to do, and not everybody may like that, but it's what lights them up. And most people don't get to experience that on a daily basis, but for those that do, they know what it feels like, and they love the feeling, and they want to keep doing what they're doing because the impact that they're having in changing other people's lives is their reason for why they do what they do. The second is that they follow the guidance of their own voice. So sometimes when we're trying to choose between one idea or the other, we just kind of look inside for that internal guidance rather than saying, well, which one would make me more money, which one's more convenient for me, etc. 3, they're living the life of their dreams today, so they're not one of those people that will say, oh, when things quiet down, then I'll start to look into this. They do it in their spare time as soon as they can because they know how great it feels when they get to do it. 4, create work that is an expression of their soul. And I want to take a minute on this one because it's a very vulnerable experience to be a soulpreneur and put your heart and soul into things and then put them out in the world. Anyone who creates anything for the consumption of others and puts it out there is being vulnerable and experiencing that. But not everybody's going to like it, and that's okay. Your work is not meant for everyone. Those who are meant to find it and resonate with it will, and those who won't. That's a life lesson, and it takes a while to get used to, but you're not meant for everybody, and that's okay. Number 5, we seek personal growth. We're constantly working on ourselves because we know that the limitations in our business are reflected as limitations on ourselves. So for example, if you're really shy, you wouldn't be the type of entrepreneur to go to networking events and hand out cards and things. You'd be more likely to use social media to get the word around or online advertisements. But we're constantly working on ourselves to the point where we're trying to improve those things because we know it will be reflected in our daily life and our business. We're always growing, we're curious, we like learning new things. We try to grow with the community, so as things change or in our industry, as trends change or needs change, we grow with them just because it's natural for us to see the need of our client or customers and grow with that because we create what you ask for. And if you ask or get repeatedly asked the same question, it's a good sign that there's something there that your clients will want. 9, maintain internal and external harmony. So we do our best to not only talk the talk, but walk the walk. There are some times where it's a little bit harder. For example, I was sick for most of October, and it was hard for me to show up in the way that I wanted to, and I was being really hard on myself about it. But now that I'm healthy and back and my last class of the year is over, I'll be able to work on more content so that I can show up more fully for you guys in December and January and every time after that. Provide the greatest service. So for us, our satisfaction doesn't come from anything other than the satisfaction of, for me personally, it's the animals that I work with and their owners. For other people, it could be the product or service that they provide gives the person what they're looking for. So whether it's you designed a beautiful website for your client and they're thrilled, and you've set up the SEO and all of the traffic so that their website is busy and they're thrilled. That makes you feel good. 11 is operating out of gratitude. We tend to get stuck on the negative things, or most people tend to get stuck on the negative things, but we as soulpreneurs try to be grateful for every good thing that comes along. So every time I get, for example, a nice email saying how much someone appreciated my services, or I check in on one of my clients to see how they're doing if I haven't heard from them in a while, and they say, oh, it's so nice to hear from you, so-and-so is doing so great, and you know, the therapy that you provided her mobility is so great, and it makes me really happy to see. Something like that just makes my day, and I'm so grateful that the work that I do allows me to experience those things on a daily basis. 12, serve out of love. They see their gifts and talents as resources, which with they have been blessed in order to provide service to others. So if I've been told many times that my gift is with animals, and if I chose to keep that to myself, that would be fine too. But all I've ever wanted in my life is to share that gift with others and work helping to rehabilitate animals. So that's what lights me up the most. And part of that is serving the pet parents and the people who rescue the animals and all of those lovely things. 13, recognize their worth. Soulpreneurs see the inherent worth in the work they do. They're not afraid to charge accordingly. Charging higher prices enables the soulpreneur to provide more service. It is a way of honoring not only themselves, but also their clientele. So I've been told several times that my prices are low, and I've been told a handful of times that they're high. And I had one lady actually tell me, well, I can get this service at my vet office from, you know, one of the vet assistants or vet techs there, and it cost me the same thing. So I would like, you know, this price, but for you to also show up to my house. And I said, because I'm mobile, I have to include gas prices because I have to pay for my car. So that is included in my price. For those that decide to do physical therapies, well, I have to be present, and I don't apologize for that. I explain it to them up front if they don't like it. I'm disappointed that I can't help that animal, but again, I have to respect my boundaries, because if I don't, nobody else will. So it's important to me. I think in the 4 years that I've been operating, I've only raised my prices once for one therapy. So yeah, I've been told that they're pretty low, especially animal communication. I've been told that a lot of times the sessions are, you know, $80 to $90 for 30 minutes, that kind of thing. So it's nice to see. I know that eventually I may up them a little bit, but for now I'm comfortable with where they are. The last one is to accept things as they are. Every moment is a gift. There is neither good nor bad, only feedback. So everything that happens is a learning experience. And there's been a lot of projects that I've tried and I've put together, and they weren't quite received in the way that I was hoping that they would be. And I didn't hold on to them. I was like, okay, this one isn't working, let's try something else, because I understand that not all approaches are going to work for my specific client base. So I want to make sure that what I'm putting out there is something that they want and that they will find useful. I have a couple of other little ones that I wrote down, but that was the 14 of the formal list. I put that for us, it's not so much about money. And yes, we do need money to survive, but for us, it's more about the impact that we're providing for people. So, for example, when I teach a class, it's more important to me that the students get what they came there to get rather than how much money I get from the class. We prefer quality over quantity. So I would much rather have 5 of my ideal clients that, show up on time and have regular appointments for their animal, and then they're really satisfied with the results because they commit to what I'm suggesting, rather than a couple that try it once, decide that they're not quite sure if it's going to work, so then they don't do it, or they forget to do what I recommend, and their animal doesn't get better. So I would much rather have people who want to commit to what they've decided to do than people who don't. But I would much rather have 5 than 30 or 40 that don't quite follow through, because as much as I want to help those animals, it brings me joy to see them succeed. We bring you what you ask for. I know I kind of already touched on this one, but we want our audience to feel like we're providing value. And if we're not providing value, then we suggest, say if anybody has any ideas about topics they want to talk about, or they want to learn more about this, feel free to tell me and I will put something together, because we want you to feel valued in the community that we have created. Most people don't consider that we invest personal time and money into all the things that go on behind the scenes. And I know I've done some Instagram posts about the things that go on behind the scenes here, but there's a lot of, if I counted up all the money that I've spent on certification courses, or my Bachelor of Science degree, or all of the membership programs to, for example, where I host my website, or where I do my email marketing, or where the second site that I just launched, Tallgrass Canada, that one has its own management system, and all of the personal time that I spend on those things, nobody really sees it until they see the end result. So I find that a lot of entrepreneurs kind of can't leave their work at work, and they always bring it home with them. At least I did at first, because I ended up working evenings and weekends to get everything up and ready. Whenever I have an event, I'm always working evenings and weekends to make sure that it's ready, and usually my events are on weekends. Last night I worked till I think 8 p.m. Just to get some things done, because I've been teaching all weekend. So I don't get a lot of holidays. I've been told several times that I need to go on a trip somewhere and just take a break. My last one was in January, and it wasn't really a break. But I try and take mini staycations when I can. But again, I'm always here, and then my work is just sitting here calling to me, so I have a hard time with that. Soulpreneurs specifically are very passionate about their work. It's something, and I watched a video from Jay Shetty yesterday, and he said that passion is a combination of things that you love doing and things that you're really good at doing. So for people that, for example, are really passionate about painting and they turn it into a business, they're living their passion every day. But I find sometimes if you do it every day and suddenly you can't do it with the freedom you had before, that it doesn't bring you as much excitement as it did before. So you kind of have to be selective about which parts. I mean, there's lots of things that I enjoy that aren't about animals, and if I turn any of those into a business, I may not enjoy them as much as I did before, but I'm still passionate about those activities. And the last part was just that being a soulpreneur and putting your heart and soul into things, which I've talked about before, is a vulnerable experience, and it's not for everybody. A lot of people take a little bit to warm up to things. So for example, doing live videos like this, or having a YouTube channel, or hosting a workshop, anything like that, that takes a lot of courage to put yourself out there and do those things. And I just want to applaud people that have the courage to go out and do it, because there's usually not a lot of recognition for it. They just say, oh, you did a great job. But it's a lot harder than it looks like before you actually do it. So I wanted to take a moment just for that. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. There's another Instagram live coming up soon. But enjoy the rest of your week, and I will see you later.